Alberta's got the this new Bill of Rights, and it's mentioned, firearms are mentioned in it.
Yeah, that's right. This is actually an old bill. It dates back to 1972 under Peter Lougheed. And the original intention of it was very clear, and it was to shield citizens from government abuse of power. So it contains a lot of stuff like right to individual liberty, security of the person, enjoyment of your property, right to equity before the law, right to freedom of religion, speech, assembly, all that good stuff. So what's going on here is Danielle Smith is amending that Bill of Rights to include 3 main new pieces. And that's the right to make one's own choice over vaccinations or medical decisions, right to not be deprived of property without due legal recourse and compensation, and most importantly, the right to legally acquire, keep, and safely use firearms in Alberta. So a lot of people are saying this might not have any teeth, it's largely symbolic, and it's true that the Alberta Bill of Rights wouldn't have authority or the jurisdiction to dictate how federal parliament can lawfully restrict firearms, but I think it provides a really nice setup for a future friendly government to work with the provinces to protect the rights of Alberta licensed gun owners. So yeah, really interesting. The bill will be tabled later for debate later this month in the legislature in Alberta. But at the same time, November 2nd, Danielle Smith faces a leadership review at the UCP convention in Red Deer. So there's a lot going on there, but it's pretty vital that these amendments to the Alberta Bill of Rights pass. So
yeah, well, and you know, it's funny, and obviously we're immersed in politics all the time, a little bit more federal than provincial, but you know, there's almost a little bit of a mutiny going on within the UPC against Danielle Smith. And I followed Danielle Smith for a while, right? I was on her show a few times back when she was on the radio, and certainly she has a lot of history in the political system in Alberta. And I think that some people are probably like, things aren't happening as fast as they'd like them to happen. But I'll tell you, I don't remember anybody else ever sticking their neck out politically that far and actually getting some of these things done. You know, not to start dragging anybody through the mud, but I don't remember Jason Kenney doing that either. So, you know, I don't know, when you start fooling around, and we're learning this in British Columbia too, I'll probably talk a little bit about that in the outro. When you start fooling around too much and expecting too much too fast from a huge bloated bureaucracy, sometimes you can bite your nose off despite your face. So
yeah,
you know, I'm no expert in Alberta politics, so I don't want to portray myself like that, but you know, really think about all the alternatives before you do things like that, because certainly to gun owners, Alberta and Saskatchewan actually have done more for gun owners than any other province, probably all other provinces combined. So if you're a gun owner, you should be pretty happy with what's going on there. They're pulling out the stops and doing everything they possibly can to protect you from an overreaching federal government. And the other thing I just want to add is that when like the regulation of firearms and the criminal code are a federal jurisdiction, but municipalities, provincial policies and municipalities in particular are a creature of the provincial government. So what an Alberta Bill of Rights would do, and I'm just speculating, if there's any provincial constitutional lawyers out there, you can feel free to correct me, because I'm not an expert in these matters, but I would imagine that even though an Alberta Bill of Rights that mentions firearms and the right to acquire and legally use firearms may not protect you from a federal buyback by itself, it does make sure that the provincial government doesn't do anything to offend those provisions, and municipal governments as well. So, you know, we have 3 levels of government in Canada, and that takes care of 2 of them that won't be able to do certain things, right? So anyway, I guess all that to say, they're still doing a lot more than any other province, maybe save Saskatchewan, for individual rights. And I certainly am appreciative of that, even though I'm not a resident of Alberta.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly the thing. Sometimes when you take an all or nothing approach, you end up with nothing. So, you know, I think the alternative to a UCP government is devastating. And I worry about the future of the party under different leadership. So Danielle Smith has that really solid ability to take a position and defend it. And that's incredibly important, and avoids flip-flops. So
yeah. So anyway, whatever. If you're a resident of Alberta, you decide. But don't forget the Willie the Kid contest. Really cool. Download the CCFR mobile app and get special deals from our business members. Keep up with what's going on at the CCFR. All kinds of great things. I really appreciate it. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.